Welcome to another episode of Reggae Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Budan, at Reggae Music Forever. And we have here my co-host.
For real, the realist in the building.
Yeah, man. And this week we have a special guest. Family. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is V Monroe 12.
Yeah, man.
And I am representing dancehall culture from Panama.
From Panama.
Hello.
I'm in the building.
Hello.
Panama, all the way from Panama. You already know. So, people, Panama and Jamaica, Panama and Jamaica goes hand in hand. We have a long relationship because many years ago, for those of you who don't know, a lot of Jamaicans went to Panama to build a canal. You know what I'm saying? So V Monroe will tell you that her great-grandma is Jamaican. You know what I mean?
And my grandfather.
And her grandfather.
On both sides.
Yeah, man. So the Jamaican and the Panamanian culture is definitely fused and is love. So Panamanians, as a matter of fact, I think Panamanians were the ones who kind of like pioneered reggaeton.
Exactly.
Reggaeton.
True.
Exactly. And people don't know that.
People don't know that. But that's a whole nother topic. You know what I mean? That's it for you.
Yes. Glad to be back. We had a little hiatus that, we want to talk about. For those of you who did come out to our Reggae Talk launch party, you guys know it was a good time.
OMG.
It was a situation, a lituation, as the young folks say.
Yo, the Reggae Talk launch party, you know what I mean? The Reggae Talk launch party definitely was a revelation, and it proved to us that whatever we're doing is truly appreciated. And people take what we do serious because the turnout spoke for itself, and the energy was just people. Those of you who follow us, you follow our movement, you already know. You know what I mean? So we want to thank everyone from near and far who came out to support
definitely
Reggae Talk podcast launch. It was definitely a success. You know what I mean? So and of course, look out for more events. Yeah, man. So for you.
All right, so we're going to start it up. We're going to talk about today's topic. We're going to talk about the relationship between hip-hop and dancehall and how it's changed throughout the years.
Yeah.
Definitely there's been a change between dancehall and hip-hop, the relationship.
It's definitely a really great topic considering everything that's going on in hip-hop culture and reggae culture. So this is interesting.
Yeah, because when I told V Monroe the topic, she said, you know what?
She was ready.
Yo, I'm coming through. She got excited because, those of you who know, I think it's common knowledge that hip hop culture was deeply influenced by Jamaicans.
Definitely.
Who actually pioneered. For real, you want to get into it?
Well, we all know, for those of you who don't know, that DJ Kool Herc, who was a DJ back in Bronx, 1973, pioneered that sound of the turntables mixing instruments together to create hip-hop. But for those of you who might not know, DJ Kool Herc was from Kingston, Jamaica. He borrowed his style of doing that turntable style was from him being in Kingston and seeing sound systems string up on the con on turntables.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So he pretty much moved to the Bronx and started doing his thing. Then you had Africa Bombarded. We're not going to get too deep into it. Because we're assuming that by anyone who pretty much follow hip-hop culture or follow dancehall culture, you already know the roots of both genres. And it's common knowledge that dancehall, that hip-hop was birthed from Jamaicans.
Definitely.
Who came up in the whole movement, the dancehall reggae culture.
MCing on the mic.
Which
was to us is called toasting.
Yeah. But what we know,
KRS-One was known for this.
Yeah.
Was he Jamaican too?
Of course he was.
Yeah.
KRS-One, it's a whole, the earlier hip hop people, like the artists, you find that many of them happen to have Jamaican, Caribbean heritage.
Right.
So let's actually go back into the the relationship between hip hop and dancehall, reggae music back in the 80s and 90s. What was the landscape like back in the 80s and 90s?
Well, during this time, you definitely had to have a dancehall, maybe a reggae artist on a track to give it that flavor, that flair. Like Ding Dong said, flary. Flary. Yeah. So
flary. Give that little spice and thing, and you know.
I mean, back them time,
spice.
Yeah,
spice hot right now.
First of all, Vin Monroe, tell us what experience that you did. You was actually telling me about earlier with Patra and
what
and them style.
My girl Patra and Yo-Yo. I don't know if anybody remember them times when Patra and Yo-Yo had that song that came out. You also had Buju Banton too. That was also out in that era as well. You had a lot of artists that was collaborating with a lot of dancehall artists.
A lot of hip hop artists.
Hip hop artists, sorry.
And R&B, yeah.
And for some reason, I don't see that now. I do see a lot of hip hop artists sampling dancehall culture, but I don't actually see the dancehall artists actually collaborating like how they used to back in the day.
Which one do you guys remember? Mud Lion.
Mud Lion.
Yes.
From back in the 90s and thing.
Little Vicious and...
from Flatbush, East 21st Street.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So the relationship back in the 90s, you would say it was more close. It was more close knit.
Oh, it just went hand to hand.
It fused. It went hand to hand because
definitely.
Hip hop, even Biggie Smalls. I mean, even Tupac.
Biggie was Jamaican.
There you go. Biggie was Jamaican. You know, even Tupac. You listen to Tupac earlier works. Even some of the NWA dudes. I mean, on and on and on. The 90s artists, they were big on dancehall.
Yep.
It was customary to have a dancehall dude on your record,
and
back in the 90s.
And not only was their music,
and it was received by the hip hop faithful. They wanted it.
Definitely.
You know something? Now that I'm thinking about it, it could be that during that era, a lot of immigrants migrated to America during that time period.
True.
So you have a lot of first generation Americans.
That's a great point.
And that could possibly be why there's so much of an influence, or why in that era there was so much more of an influence in reggae culture. Because I remember being in elementary school, and mostly everybody that I went to school with was either Jamaican, Trinidadian. They was from some Caribbean countries.
Haitian.
So that
keep going. You know.
So that probably has something to do with it as well.
And I mean, not to mention the slangs at the time, it was definitely influenced as well. I mean, we had back then, big up was a talk that reached.
Big up, boom boom shots,
bless up,
boom boom shots. It's actually the vernacular. It actually became a vernacular in pop culture. You know what I mean? If you say pum pum shots right now, you listen to Power 105, you listen to Charlemagne. You know what I mean?
He's always talking. Oh, even pum pum itself, pum pum.
Chris Brown had a song about that,
and I hear Charlemagne always like pum pum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That pum pum. He always it's not pum. It's that pum pum.
Well, I mean, he's a man who love eat pum pum. That's another topic, but
I mean, that's another topic.
A film thing that
coming like Angel does.
You know what I mean? But back in the 90s, because it kind of now to think about it, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
If dancehall artists were the ones who were influential in pioneering hip hop, it would make sense that maybe 10 years later, it would be more close knit. It would make sense.
Right.
You know? But the point of the matter is, back in the 90s, the culture was very, very much, both cultures were very much alive, and they kind of like fused. It was like more of a fusion. And not only that, the dancehall artists, you would see that they appeared on the hip hop programs.
Oh,
they appeared on the Rap City. They appeared on Arsenio.
How about when Shabba Ranks made it to RuPaul?
yo, RuPaul.
You know what it is?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Think that during those times in the 90s, there was more collaboration.
There was a lot of collaboration and people. But why do you think? Let's go deeper. Why do you think? That the hip hop masses they receive the dancehall more? Do you think it's the way how the music was presented?
it was definitely similar in the way they expressed themselves, raw, hardcore. And that's definitely something where the hip hop culture can relate to.
Because remember something, like people always complain about, oh, dancehall songs are not crossing over.
Right.
But there's a major barrier why the dancehall songs are not crossing over.
Definitely.
And it always has to be packaged a certain way. Because remember, the Jamaican patois, if people can't understand what you're saying, then they're not really going to give it. They're not really going to give it a listening ear.
No, I don't think that has to do with it, because there's a lot of artists that's using Jamaican patois slang. Drake is numero uno for that.
Right, and I mean, we always talk about the rhythm is always what sells reggae and dancehall. We always say that most of the time people don't understand what the reggae dancehall artist is saying, but that rhythm, that vibe, they get that feeling from it. They want to dance. So I'm not gonna say it's the dialect. It's definitely not.
It's not the dialect.
Not the dialect.
It's definitely not the dialect. I would say at one point, when hip hop and dancehall was, rising and collaborating very, a lot. What happened was at one point, Boom Bye Bye. If you guys remember what happened there. It started a whole movement.
Buju Banton paid dearly for that.
And even
as a matter of fact, big up Buju.
That's still my artist.
I'm still followed out our roots still.
So that's V Monroe's favorite artist. He should be out.
Artist.
I'm
going to Trinidad for that first concert.
Yeah, man. Big up Buju. Big up Buju Banton. He should be a free man. What is it? November?
Man, free Buju.
Yeah, man. Free Buju. But anyway.
So, like I was saying, at one point, that kind of hindered the relationship between hip hop and dancehall because of the views that we share on homosexuals. Even Shaba at one point when he did an interview with RuPaul, it kind of hindered his career. And that kind of that backlash that we did get kind of, has caused some kind of stunt in the relationship.
In a relationship with the mainstream,
right?
With the mainstream market, with the international
right. So
market.
That would be one. That would be the first right there.
But let's go back. Let's go back now.
Yeah.
A lot of the dancehall songs, the dancehall collabs from back in the 90s, they were on hip hop R&B beats. Mr. Lover Man,
True.
Shaba,
True.
Patra. Those beats weren't really
reggae beats.
They weren't really reggae beats.
No.
And we could go on and on.
Yes.
But it's all about how the songs were produced or how they were constructed.
True.
The hook, the hook was pretty much plain English.
Right.
And then you get into the verses.
It was nice and slow and groovy.
Yeah, man.
So people could kind of get a gist of what the artist is saying because it's nice and slowed down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one argument could be the rhythm. That's one argument, because remember in the early 90s, not even the mid 90s, when we started getting the more hardcore stuff, in the early 90s,
there's more.
Remember these artists, they started getting all these record deals, True. Columbia Record, all these different things, and they had their own vision of how to present the record to the American masses.
Right.
And a lot of the songs were on R&B, hip hop beats. Even Cape Town, after me left from Jamaica, go a foreign on tour.
That was like a hip hop.
Teaching the peep. It was like hip hop, but the hook was more palatable. It was easier to digest.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So that's another perspective.
Oh, definitely. That plays a big part of it. Because more time, the American masses are just mainstream masses. They need something palatable, something they could kind of understand, get the gist of, something slowed down so they can groove to.
I have to interject because I don't really think that's what it is. I feel like back in the 90s and early 2000s, we had more hip hop artists that had Caribbean descent, like Foxy Brown. You had Biggie.
We're gonna get into that.
Yes, definitely.
So I think that played a major role in that as well. Now you don't really have that many dancehall artists that are like mainstream and that are collaborating now with hip hop artists.
We're definitely.
So I feel like
I agree with you.
Me too.
That
Definitely agree.
I agree with you 100%. But before we move from this little,
cause we're talking about this particular era where
era
where this Motown R&B was behind this dancehall artist who's spitting hardcore dancehall lyrics.
Yeah,
so
but they packaged it a certain way,
and they definitely did package it, and
to make it it's easier for the hip hop masses to digest it.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So maybe that also had a reason. I mean, that had a hand in
this point,
in the relationship with how the music was perceived, was received by the hip hop masses.
True.
But there's also another perspective, and that's what happened. And that's what happened a few years down the line in the mid '90s, in the early of the mid '90s, when the hardcore dancehall boom 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 boom, when the rhythm changed, and those songs started crossing over into the hip hop market as well.
True.
So
that's when the market changed, when they understood, all right, now we have to switch it up. Now we have to let these new sounds that are coming in, we have to find a way to package it and give it to the people.
The Diwali rhythm was a big rhythm that
definitely
crossed over.
That's exactly the rhythm
that
I was.
Diwali. That's, as a matter of fact, that's a good segue into what the relationship between the hip hop and the dancehall artists or fans or whatever in the 2000s, because the 90s was crazy. Tons of collabs. Artists. They show up on the hip hop platforms, Rap City. All that stuff. Buju Banton, Arsenio Hall. Like, it was just the dancehall. The relationship was just amazing. The unity. UNITY, Fugees.
True.
I mean, It goes on and on and on. Hip hop and dancehall went hand in hand.
But you see what you just said? You said the Fugees. The Fugees were Haitian.
There you go. But Wyclef was big on.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a lot of these artists were either first generation Americans.
Great point.
Or they had Caribbean. They were of some Caribbean descent.
True.
So a lot of these artists that were putting these reggae artists on or collaborating with them, they came from Caribbean parents, or
Absolutely.
if they weren't Caribbean themselves.
Right.
Absolutely. So pretty much in the 80s, 90s, the relationship between the hip hop and the dancehall industry, fans, artists, I mean, one can argue that the relationship was great. It was a great relationship.
Yep.
Definitely a good relationship.
Really great relationship. And then we move into the 2000s, and that's where it boomed even more, especially in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You want to get into that?
With Wayne Wonder came with the Wally rhythm, like you said. And then Sean Paul.
Oh,
who just came on the scene with Give Me the Light, and it was huge. I'm talking, well, let's not even get to Sean Paul first. Let's talk about Shaggy. Shaggy
Shaggy
went diamond.
He went diamond. 10 million records.
That's unheard of right now.
So,
Shaggy's music
no one's selling diamond anymore.
Shaggy's music really is geared towards. It's not hardcore. It's not hardcore. He definitely appeals to white America.
Yeah.
And so that's why if you could appeal to white America, you win.
Well, definitely, I agree. But I mean, let's give him the fact. He's a dancehall reggae artist who came with reggae dancehall music and went diamond.
He took it to the world.
And same thing, Sean Paul. He did the same, but he did it with more hardcore. I mean, I wouldn't say it's hardcore like Vybz Kartel, but it was definitely dancehall music.
So can we say that? So can we say that in the 90s? In the 90s is right. The relationship was great. Dancehall and reggae artists. I mean, and hip hop artists. The industry. It was oneness. It was booming. And then when we got into the early 2000s, that's where we really reached our pinnacle. It boomed even more. Where the dancehall, the hardcore dancehall sound, not the watered down business. That's when
came to the forefront.
That's when it really moved to the forefront.
Right. Because then you have Elephant Man who came with Panda River, Panda Bank.
And that was a big big
and that opened major doors for him. He started doing collabs.
Hold on. Where's the dancehall?
Remember we played on MTV.
Oh yeah.
Man.
It was on everything.
This is because the early 2000s was really my era. I always say that's really my era. Late 90s, early 2000s is my era. So I remember everything like it was yesterday. So pretty much pretty much, if what I recall is that there were maybe about 5 artists on urban radio.
Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go.
So many dancehall artists on urban radio. So many collabs. You want to read some of the collabs? Let's let these.
I mean, let's not even
with the hip hop artists.
Let's not even forget Sizzler, who made it mainstream.
Yeah, he had a situation. He had a situation with
Rockefeller
with Dame Dash and them, right?
He got like $500,000. You know,
it was short lived, but it was a situation.
It was huge. I mean, let's talk about Sean Paul and Beyonce, Baby Boy. Let's talk about Sean Paul
Big
and
time. Beyonce, Queen Beyonce.
Oh yes,
doing that. Can you see Beyonce doing a dancehall collab right now?
Oh no. Definitely
No
not.
way.
Oh, remember?
You don't think so? Because I could have sworn you had a video.
Which dancehall artist can you see Beyonce doing a dancehall collab right now?
Conscience.
No. Definitely not.
I really do not see Beyonce doing a dancehall collab right now.
Yeah.
I don't see her doing that right now.
Well, remember that was before Jay-Z as well. I mean, Jay-Z tried to put a stop to that too.
I mean, we already know how that went.
That's another note.
I mean, with one of the Marleys, maybe.
Yes,
but the Marleys is not really. It's not really dancehall.
Yeah.
Maybe Damian Marley. That's the closest to dancehall. Damian Marley is a toaster. He's more, like he's the closest to dancehall. But the Marleys don't really do. They do more roots. Reggae. One drop on them thing. That
dubstep.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, that's the closest you're gonna get with Beyonce right now.
Yeah, I mean, they were in Jamaica filming that video the other day, and we're gonna touch on that later on.
And to mention more names, Beanie Man and Maya.
Yo, how big is that?
That was a
huge song. Remember Beanie Man and Janet
Beanie
Jackson?
Man and Janet Jackson.
Yes.
Forgot about that?
And Janet Jackson.
Beanie put in some work, you see?
Yes,
yo, Beanie Man, listen to me. Yo, all y'all young bucks, listen to me, man. Listen to me. You guys need to respect Beanie Man. You hear me? If you weren't around when Beanie Man was running shit, put some respect on that man's name.
Definitely.
I'm not going to go off on a tangent right now.
And he did hardcore dancehall.
Listen to me. Anyway, who else?
Beanie Man and Pharrell.
Beanie Man and Pharrell. As a matter of fact,
yes.
Neptunes.
I forgot about that one.
Neptunes. That's when Pharrell wasn't even an artist. He was a producer.
True.
Boss man. And it's when there's a man come around, boss man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I said? That's when Beanie Man was bigger than Pharrell.
Remember when Beanie Man did with Gorilla Blocks?
Yo, who else? It's so many.
Left Beano now.
You got Foxy Brown and Baby Sham.
Yo,
right?
Yo, Foxy Brown and Baby Sham.
That was the biggest tune ever.
As a matter of fact, let me put this out
Most
there.
discreet.
Foxy Brown is my favorite female hip hop artist ever.
You always say that.
Yes.
You always say that.
No, because she was real.
She was
real.
Favorite hip hop artist ever, and that will never change. Who else?
Let's talk about DMX and Mr. Vegas.
Here comes the boom. Here comes
With
the
50.
boom.
Here comes the boom. Die. All young They play it on Hot 97 every day. Hot 97 in New York City, people.
How about Foxy and Spragga?
Yes, Foxy and Spragga.
Woyoy.
Woyoy.
All right.
How about Sham and Alicia Keys?
Ghetto Story. That's
that was the remix.
The ghetto story. And as I'm talking about, big up Baby Sham. Baby Sham is one of my favorite dancehall artists. You know what I say? Baby Sham support reggae talk, support reggae music forever. You know what I say? Big up Baby Sham.
Big up to Baby Sham
and the whole family. You know what I say? Yeah, man. But yo, I mean, the list goes on. This is in the 2000s.
I mean, we could keep going.
The list goes on and on. Like there was so much harmony between the dancehall and the hip hop fraternity, you know, and the labels, and like it was just love.
I mean, multiple dancehall artists had records playing on major radio stations, Hot 97,
5-6 artists.
Even at the one time, what's the pop radio station? Z100. They were playing on Z100, right?
For those of you who don't know, Z100 is the top radio pop alternative station in New York City. Yeah.
But outside of that, I find like even artists that did not collaborate with reggae artists, they still had songs that sampled reggae flavor, like Lil Kim, Light Us Up.
Put your lighters up. Definitely. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Yo, I want to get into some more collabs. So we had Elephant Man and Twister, Juke Girl. Then we had The Game and Junior Reid, One Blood. That's more recent, fairly more recent than the other ones. And then we had Dipset. Dipset anthem. That's what you know. What I mean,
with the Sanchez,
Harlem. Yo, Dipset was heavy on dancehall.
And you know what's so crazy? Because if Harlem was
Harlem.
in reggae,
Harlem, that's hardcore hip hop dudes. Heavy on the Jamaican culture. You know what I mean? So that's what we I lost my train of thought.
That's pretty much what we were seeing with the relationship between hip hop and dancehall at that time in the 2000s.
In the 2000s, so the 90s was good. That's really where it started. Late 80s, 90s, and then in the 2000s, early 2000s, kind of infiltrated it way more, and it was just crazy.
Now let's talk about the new generation hip hop.
So let's get into what's going on right now,
which is now second generation American.
True.
The second generation. So that goes back to what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a little bit more distant.
Exactly.
Distant.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Distant.
And also what we spoke about on the last topic of the generation gap. There's always a generation gap. And because these new artists, hip hop artists, are so far distant, they're not so close bred into the dancehall culture like how the old school ones were.
I don't think I have to disagree. I do feel like they are.
You think they're connected?
They are connected, but because if they weren't connected, you wouldn't have artists like Drake talking that talk and talking like a Jamaican.
But Drake is like a special case because he's from Toronto, which is like Toronto urban culture, Toronto urban.
I don't want to consider
lingo.
Drake a new generation artist either.
Nah, Drake's been around for 10 years.
I'm talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this. We're talking about new generation.
The 20.
Drake been busted.
No,
Drake is on his 11th year.
Drake is what, 30 years old?
His 11th year of reigning.
But Boogs has, if I'm not mistaken, he has a
song with Alkaline.
Yeah, and he's second generation.
He's a young kid.
He's one.
But that's just one.
We're talking about.
That song is not really.
We're talking about the main, a lot of them, the majority.
Yeah, so pretty much what with the newer kids, with the newer generation, what I've been seeing at least, is that the relationship between the new generation hip hop artists and the dancehall artists, it seems very, very distant. It seems like there's not really an appreciation for dancehall music, especially when it comes to collabs. It seems like they have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. For real, you want to get into what? You want to get into that?
So,
especially with
I mean, pretty much. Let's talk about Drake. I mean,
since we're on the topic of Drake.
So Drake, he, like you said, he's the new generation. He didn't give Popcorn the proper credits as he should have. A lot of Jamaicans, there was an outrage behind that. He used Beanie Man on the official album release of the song Controller. And we pretty much know why he did that, because Beanie Man is a bigger brand. For us who are in New York and Florida and LA and the urban, places, we pretty much are familiar with Popcorn, and we know that. But he didn't give Popcorn the proper props as an old school hip hop artist would have. They would have whoever they did the feature with, they would have promoted it as such.
Absolutely. All right. So this is my take. So Drake, right? Drake talk all this Jamaican stuff. He's big, always writing all these Jamaican slangs on his social media. Him and Popcorn are best friends. So Drake, when are you gonna do an official collab with Popcorn?
Right.
Or I'm gonna say Popcorn because it would make sense because that's your buddy.
Right.
That's your buddy. Well, wife and buddy.
No, yeah, wife and buddy.
That's your brethren. That's your brethren. When are you gonna go to Jamaica and spend 2 weeks? 2 weeks and build up vibes with Popcorn and lay down some tracks with Popcorn and put that on your album, Drake.
When are you gonna do answers, that? Drake, Aubrey.
You know what I'm saying? When are you really gonna do that? But
true.
Don't forget Drake had a set reggae song.
Yeah.
Aubrey, we need answers.
When are you really gonna do that? So I'm questioning. Are you really just?
And even let's not dwell too much on Drake. Let's talk about some other particular people. Let's
Chris
talk
Brown.
about Chris Brown, for
He has
instance.
that new song out right now.
Chris Brown did do. Chris, I respect Chris. Breezy, my dude.
Me too.
Breezy, my
Omarion is
dude.
another one.
Omarion is another. It's like a whole bunch of
one.
these dudes. That's why I say they have the hip hop guys. They have 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
And
once you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you're really manipulating the culture.
Right. You're using it to make the gains, the monetary gains.
Yeah.
But you're not giving its proper. You're not paying proper homage.
So
when are you
to
gonna get the collabs going with the guys who are really creating waves in Jamaica?
Right.
So in other words, you're saying they're culture vultures.
Right. I read this article. Right? It was like stop whitewashing dancehall music.
Yeah,
and
that was a great article.
It was a good article, and it was talking about the pop culture, like Justin Bieber, for such who did Sorry, and the instrumental was a dancehall music. So now they pretty much call this music tropical house. Why not call it what it is? It was dancehall reggae music. Why are you calling it dancehall? Why are you calling it tropical house? Now, the thing is, when you call it tropical house, you're not paying homage to the culture. People there's new fan base that don't know about dancehall reggae music.
Right.
They're going to look into tropical house. Oh, where did this come from? They're going to find that it came out of nowhere. They're going to find it's connected with this foreign guy in Australia. And they're not going to look into the culture. So that's something that we need to address as well.
Absolutely. So they're not giving credit. They have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So, and along with that, what I'm hearing from a lot of these new age hip hop dudes, they're using a couple long time lines from 90s dancehall songs. They're sampling it.
True.
You know, they're using a little bit of the accent, you know, because Jamaican culture is always relevant.
True.
Whether you agree or not, Jamaican culture is always relevant. So I feel like they're using little bits and pieces. But when are you going to really collaborate with the artists who are really creating waves? Just like how the hip hop artists in the 2000s and the 90s, they collaborated with the dancehall artists.
Yeah, but there were a lot of dancehall artists in the 90s. There's not that many nowadays.
That's something.
That's a great point.
You have
when you say not a lot of dancehall artists, what do you mean?
Mainstream dancehall artists. I'm not talking about
artists who are worthy.
I'm not saying worthy, but dancehall artists that had crossed over. I think
so they're not crossing over.
They're not crossing over.
Exactly. But again, that goes back to people thinking that they have to bust in America first. No, look at Charlie Blacks. He bust in Central America first and then made his way up to America. So I feel like if more people use that formula,
that's a great point.
They would have a platform. But they automatically think, oh, I have to get to America. I have to get to America. Sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to get forward.
You're dropping gems right now.
And a lot of people don't know in Central America, dancehall is big.
And V Monroe, she lives in Panama. So this is a first-hand experience.
Yes.
Tell us about dancehall in Panama.
So first of all, in Panama, they love Jamaicans, and that's obviously because a lot of Panamanians are from Caribbean descent. They're from Jamaica, and there's still a lot of Jamaicans that live in Panama right now.
True.
And a lot of them ancestors migrated to build the canal. But if you go to the clubs, they have big Jamaican flags inside the clubs. You have a big popular reggae artist out there named Kafu Bantan. He's Panamanian, and he sings Spanish reggae.
Yeah, man.
And he's a big deal in Panama.
So reggae is huge.
It's huge, and not only in Panama, in Belize too.
So a lot of
Honduras,
these reggae,
Guatemala,
right? They need to recognize that there's markets other than U.S.
Exactly.
So that goes subscribe back to the culture. The culture.
Great point. I'm loving where this conversation is going, because Jamaican dancehall artists, for whatever reason, they tend to be fixated on the American market, and that's like their measure of success.
Success, true.
Yeah, that's like a yardstick to say, "Yo, I made it." Yo,
and it's sad.
Everybody wanna make it in the U.S. and cross over into the American market.
But Charlie Blacks crossed over from Central America,
right? And also, I was cheerleader.
Omi.
He was also one that crossed, that got his big exposure through Central America.
And there's a lot of artists, that Jamaican artists that are in Panama, that's busting in Panama, and it's making its way up here. So I feel like there's not that many dancehall artists that made it over to mainstream. So who they collaborating with?
So did you ever hear the story of how Sasco got his opportunity to work with Kendrick Lamar? And,
I didn't even know he even worked with Kendrick Lamar.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something for real. Yeah. That right there, Sasco, that's Agent Sasco. That's Assassin, aka Agent Sasco. That's a big time dancehall artist. I mean, underrated, but real dancehall people will tell you that he's one of the best to do it, you know?
For sure.
And every time I've heard him tell the story about how he got on Kendrick Lamar's album.
And Kanye.
He got on Kanye's album. And I was offended.
Me too.
Yo, I was offended. I was very offended.
Why?
He told a story about how, you know, Kendrick's people, they linked his management. And first of all, he never spoke with Kendrick Lamar. They never got in the studio.
Nope.
Granted, I mean, it's modern days. You don't have to get in the studio.
Yeah,
but yo, listen,
respect level.
Listen to me. There you go.
Right.
From a respect level, respect perspective, if you really respect what I do.
Exactly.
Just like how Damian Marley
was flown out.
Just like how Jay-Z respected Damian Marley, and he flew him off tour to go to Jamaica to film, to be a part of his video that they filmed in Trenchtown.
True.
That was like a big social media, that went viral on social media. It was a big thing.
Right.
It's the same way that's the same respect that I would think Angel Sasco should command from Kendrick
Kanye
and Kanye. Right. So pretty much what Sasco said was that, yo, Kendrick people linked his people, and
he did a bunch of songs.
He
was shocked to hear that he was on the album.
He was like blown away, and it was like an attitude for gratitude. Like, yo,
first thing
just something for build my brand and thing, and him link me.
Yeah, but how was it building your brand? He didn't even recognize you.
Where's the man Gladbach boss?
Yeah, man. the man Gladbach boss. Him Gladbach boss. In other words, it's like yo,
just happy.
He was like just happy for any. You know, you're not used to something. And this is Agent Sasco, one of the best dancehall artists who's been around for like since 2000, since 1999. Highly regarded. Assassin. You know what I'm saying? And big time dancehall artist. And that was really his response. And to put the icing on the cake, to go even further, the disrespect,
right? They did not give him credit. First of all, they didn't show him as a feature on the credits. Kanye
on the track. No, he got his credits. He got his credits. BMI and his ASCAP, whatever.
I'm talking about on the back where you would see an artist being featured. You did not see Agent Sasco mentioned. You see other hip hop artists. You see even an Afrobeat artist being featured. I can't tell you right now exactly who, but when it came to that dancehall reggae artist who we regard so high, at Agent Sasco, no mention. Feature, no mention. Just same thing like Popcorn.
He never spoke with Kendrick Lamar.
With Drake. Yeah.
They never had a conversation. This is what Sasco said out of his mouth. They never had a conversation. It's just his management.
And it goes back.
So
to what
pretty much, I'm Kendrick Lamar, and you are Agent Sasco.
Well,
it never used to be like that back in the days. It was more like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But again,
like you said, it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
I think it goes back to
he wanted a flavor.
No, I think it goes back to what we were discussing before, that if you don't, Jamaican culture, dancehall culture feels like, okay, as long as you made it in America, you're good. So he probably felt like he got the opportunity in America. So yeah, I'm good just like that. But he doesn't understand that it's more to it. Probably that's what it was. And
it doesn't end there. Remember, Angel Sasco, again, great lyricist. Before Kendrick Lamar's feature, he also had a feature on Kanye West's album. I don't know which one. And from what I heard, it was the same experience. He never had a conversation with Kanye West. It was just Kanye West's management.
Right.
And I'm sure when Kanye West is doing features with any of his hip hop comrades, any of his hip hop co-workers, they have conversations.
So now maybe we got to think about
that's disrespectful.
What's the business? What's the business that this reggae artist?
But to finish the point,
right?
Angel Sasco response is more like, "Yo, listen, I want to widen my market. I want my fan base to grow, and my approach is an attitude for gratitude.
Right. So take whatever.
Take whatever. Whatever they give me, I'm going to take it. You know, they're bigger than me. They're superior. So they're giving me a break, and I'm going to benefit from it, even though they're not going about it the right way. They treat me like you get what I'm saying?
Now Shayna made a point earlier, and she's talking about these artists.
Yeah.
Van Mar, you don't know the thing, though.
You know the thing.
So, pretty much that these artists need to raise their standards.
Exactly. You got to raise your standards.
We all know Shabba Ranks, the great Shabba Ranks. This man, his standards is so high that this man doesn't settle for less. This man, when he's going to these hip hop artists, this man demands respect, commands respect. And the fact that these our new artists, generation artists, need to do the same.
Well, I mean, if you don't even respect your culture, why do you expect for somebody else to respect it?
True.
So if you're telling me that he was settling for just being featured, why should Kendrick Lamar or these people give you any respect? You gotta set a standard for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure he wouldn't do that to Beanie Man.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's to show you how the respect level changed from the 90s to the 2000s, early 2000s to present day. The respect level is not the same. Hip hop artists, from what I see, they generally feel as if they're up here and dancehall artists are down there.
Right.
However, they're using elements from our culture to benefit. And I think it's a problem. But like I usually say, we need to fix our house.
Exactly.
Because let me tell you something, and I'm gonna liken this, I'm gonna compare this to just the people in general. Whenever you're up, everybody went up with you. Whenever you're down, ain't nobody want to link with you. In the 2000s, dancehall music was popping internationally. So everybody wanted to do dancehall.
True.
Right now, it's not really happening. I mean, dancehall artists, Jamaican dancehall artists, it's not really happening right now when it comes to urban culture and mainstream. It's not happening.
Again, I think
so. Clearly, nobody don't want to mess with them. Case in point, Afrobeats is popping right now. And what do you notice with hip hop artists?
They're on it.
Tons of collabs.
Yeah, but Afrobeats is, well, yeah, you're right.
That's another topic though. Afrobeats is they use elements of
dancehall, exactly.
Of Jamaican music, but
reggae music also comes from Africa, the beats and the drums.
Absolutely.
So we all one family.
True. Yeah, man.
You really want to get technical.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that's another perspective. I guess many of these artists they just linking with people who are hot. If you're hot, they want to do music with you. French Montana, one of the biggest dancehall song right now. What's and they call it Afrobeats. What's the song? What's
that's Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. Yeah. Straight up dancehall.
Big song.
You know what I mean? I thought he would have filmed the video in Jamaica. He filmed it in Africa. And then they call it Afrobeats. Omarion, another one.
True.
Dancehall. They filmed it in Africa.
Well, I mean, Afrobeats and dancehall music, they kind of play hand in hand. Even like with soca, everything
I like Afrobeats.
Comes from the same.
I like Afrobeats because it has that energy and has that. So
who are the hip hop artists that's showing love to dancehall, and who are the?
That's a nice segue.
Right, like
Nicki Minaj.
Okay,
Nicki Minaj.
What song? I mean,
when was the last time Nicki did it?
Well, I mean, I'm not even talking about collaboration.
That song kind of unachieved, by the way.
Yeah,
it didn't really.
It didn't reach.
And then she did the song with Beanie Man.
Right.
I think I got shot.
Right.
It didn't really.
It didn't definitely.
I mean, did they really push it though?
But she tried. I give her. Definitely give her.
You got to give it. You got to give it to Nikki.
Nikki tried. Even when she rapped, she put on her little twang here and there.
Yo, Jamaican culture, it sells.
Well, she's from New York, so she, obviously she has. And she Caribbean herself.
Nikki's Trinity.
Again,
Nikki from
that
around
goes
the way.
back to
And
me saying.
she did do it with all Egyptian.
Yo,
But this is what I'm saying. A lot of the times in the 90s, you had first generations Americans that were artists.
Right. So that goes exactly.
They were first generation.
But we're talking
Americans
about
from Caribbean parents.
So now these new generation artists who aren't first generation,
exactly,
right, they're not doing it. But we're noticing that today.
Give me some hip hop artists
today.
Give me some hip hop artists who are popping right now.
Hip hop artists that are popping besides Drake.
What? Like the new generation?
Top hip hop artists who are really popping right now. Kendrick Lamar,
J. Cole.
Yeah,
J. Cole respect Jamaican culture.
Oh, he definitely does.
He does.
But he's hanging out with Rihanna.
Is he doing any collabs?
No.
I ain't seeing
But again, who are they collaborating with? Who they gonna collab? Can you see J. Cole collaborating with Alkaline?
So that's a great point. You're saying that the dancehall artists and the dancehall artists in Jamaica right now, they're not worthy. Or they're not good enough for the international market.
You have Bugle. What are you saying? You have Bugle. You have Kabaka. They're just not.
Kabaka's a roots artist. He's more of a roots.
All right, let's talk Bugle then. Bugle. You have Saska.
I want to know.
Busy.
Tell me who you think Kendrick Lamar. Which dancehall artist can Kendrick Lamar collaborate with?
Which dancehall artist?
Bugle.
Yeah, you're thinking real hard.
I said Bugle. So you can't collab with Bugle?
Bugle?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
You don't seem too sure in that.
Chronics?
Well, yes.
But Chronics dancehall and reggae.
Dancehall and reggae.
Yeah.
So.
No, Chronics is dancehall too.
Dancehall, yeah, man. Chronics is a reggae artist, but
Busy.
It does the roots.
Busy is dancehall and Busy know how to cross over.
Who do you think he could collab? Which hip hop
artist
named the
do you think he Busy, Chronics,
Kendrick Lamar? I mean, J. Cole?
Yeah. If them one that could have collabed with Shavarunks back in the days, and they could have collabed with.
So are you saying that the dancehall artists dancehall reggae artists in Jamaica right now, they're not crossover worthy? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely not saying
I'm not saying that they're not crossover worthy. I feel like you have to have a chemistry. You see, like how Foxy and Baby Sham had that chemistry.
Yeah.
They were able. You have to have a chemistry to produce good music. You're not just gonna put anybody on a track. Like I can't see Alkaline and J. Cole together. Like I can't.
Definitely not.
I could probably
see
has
choices.
Alkaline and maybe a Nicki.
Yeah.
Or there's not even that many artists either.
But here's
or even Alkaline and Chris Brown.
Let's go further. From what I've been seeing, maybe over the past 10 years, up to today, the collaborations
have dwindled.
Definitely did. For example, you have Sting and Shaggy.
Yeah.
Sting is not a hip hop artist, but Sting is an international artist.
Right.
They have a big album right now. It's doing big numbers right now. But Sting and the Police or whatever is all those from way back when. Sting has a great appreciation for Jamaican culture. He spoke about it the other day.
Yeah.
Who else? Nas.
Yeah, but can you see Sting collaborating with
what I'm
saying is that
they would have to pick someone who's palatable to their sound.
Exactly.
But I'm saying within the dancehall realm, there's a variety of artists that they can pick from. So just because it's not Alkaline, they can definitely pick a Bugle. They could definitely pick a Busy.
Sting?
Oh, he can definitely collaborate with Chronics.
Sting is definitely. But what I'm seeing is that
and a Prodigy and I'm those men that are also dancehall. I mean, even I don't know. You want to put them in the box of saying roots? They're dancehall. They're reggae. Definitely. It's the whole.
Prodigy is a toaster,
right?
He's a toaster,
right?
But what I'm seeing is that a lot of the guys who are doing a lot of the collaborations, or the hip hop guys, or the international dudes who are doing collaborations with the reggae dancer artists, they're older dudes. You got the Shaggy and the Sting, right? That's heavy right now on the scene right now.
Snoop Lion.
You got Snoop Dogg. He spent 2 months in Jamaica.
He did a reggae album, didn't he?
He did a reggae album.
Yeah.
Who else?
Rihanna's supposed to be working on a
Jay-Z
reggae
and
album.
Junior Gang.
Big time. Jay-Z and Junior Gang. That's heavy right there.
And they
the video should be coming out right now.
They locked down the whole.
So again, Jay-Z is an icon in hip hop. Older artist.
French Montana with Alkaline with.
Yeah, so it's like a trend that I see. Most of the collaborations are from the older artists. Nas and Damian Marley again. Distant relative.
But then you gotta look at the state
What
of hip hop
about
right
the
now,
young
though.
guys? So,
But look at the state of hip hop right now. They rapping about foolishness.
great point.
Right.
So I mean, how can they appreciate anything when even hip hop is just
Great point.
a mess right now?
Great point. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this opportunity, since we're speaking about young guys, I'm going to use the opportunity to speak about, what's the rapper that was gunned down the other day?
Extension.
Can't say it. Extentation. Yeah, man. Bless up Extentation.
Rest in peace.
And I'm going to be, man, SIP. I want to tell you
He
something.
was Jamaican, by the way.
He was?
His family was. Yeah,
His family.
Wow.
Yeah, but I heard he was homeless. So what kind of Jamaican family is that?
They probably was tired of him.
Well, honestly, I seen his mom.
Come on, tell me the police, boy.
I seen his mom. Here's what happened. I seen his mom. I don't know, in a recent post, and she's saying they found the killers. She was Jamaican. You can hear that.
So he was.
I really hope they find justice, man.
Right. They found one of the killers.
Wasn't it another rapper?
No, supposedly it was just a random murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
But there's still details coming out. So
I want to tell you something. So since we're on the new generation hip hop artists,
robbery.
Yo, on our way here this evening for real, we're in the car, we're driving, and I listened to Extentation album, and his material is very, 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 very dense, not raunchy, very dense, very deep, very profound. And I see the day when he was gunned down, and they had that, I heard about him, but I didn't know his music. And I went on his Instagram, and I saw that he had 8.1 million followers. I'm like, what the hell? And I listened to his music. I see why he had 8.1 million followers. I checked it today. He had 12.4 million. His music is good.
Really?
Yeah. It's
like
deep. It's different, and it's good.
Alternative. It's not
check it out.
Full blown hip hop. It's definitely deep, and it's definitely good. He has a lot of melody. He has a good voice.
It's profound stuff. Profound.
Good stuff.
It's sad that people don't recognize people's talent until they're gone.
You see that? I heard about him, but I'm not really a new age hip hop dude. I'm a hardcore hip hop dude from back in the day. But the new kids,
I don't want to say
the drugs and all that other stuff. I don't follow it, so I'm not really heavy on too much of the new hip hop. But this is like you said. It sucks that he had to die for people to
recognize his music.
Well, he was definitely recognized.
And all those people putting up R.I.P. this and that. Yo, I'm gonna go off on a tangent right now, man. Why people gotta wait till you're dead to tell you how great you are?
You know what? It's human nature.
Yeah.
And I feel like, unfortunately, subconsciously, people are just naturally don't want to see you doing good. Because I remember at one point, he was on the Shade Room all the time about what negativity,
did. Right?
All the time. Now that the man is dead, now everyone is putting up about how
everybody
person that he was and this. So I think it's just human nature for people to just be natural haters. Not everybody, but
that's true.
For the most part, human nature is they don't want to see the next man doing good.
Absolutely.
But as far as the state of hip hop, it's like, okay, the state of hip hop is horrible. So if they don't even respect the music, how they really gonna respect reggae culture or dancehall culture?
That's a perfect transition into what we was talking about.
Great.
As far as what caused the shift, because we was talking about bad press. Dancehall artists have also been getting bad press, and that could hinder the relationship between the hip hop culture and dancehall.
That's a great. I think bad press, because remember,
like I said,
with the bad press came the downturn. Of the music, with the artists not being able to travel and all these negative things that's going on. Artists going to jail, going to prison, whatever.
That's old age, though.
Yeah, but here what I'm saying is that these artists, if you're not able to travel, you're not able to make the mark that you're not able to kind of like actualize your full potential. How are you able to actually cross over into other markets.
All right, look at it with good artist Buju Banton, which is your favorite artist, by the way.
Buju Banton, big up.
The other day, last week, 2 weeks ago, the video of him tasting the coke resurfaced.
It resurfaced.
It's not good press. That press hurts Jamaica brand.
It still does not.
It hurts brand Jamaica.
It definitely does. And Dudus, the whole thing with Dudus, the whole thing for anytime. First of all, and you always talk about it.
Yeah.
That you're a person, I know you have your page and you don't like to promote the negativity.
No.
But for some reason, the Shade Room, the World Stars,
right?
The only thing that they want to put up on their sites
when it comes
is
to Jamaican culture,
negativity.
That's what feeds people,
right? So because of that negativity, hinders the relationship between the corporate world who's out there willing to spend money on Jamaica,
you really
on
feel
brand
that
Jamaica.
way?
Of course.
So why is there so many hip hop artists in and out of jail? You got Gucci Mane that was in jail. You got Scrappy that was in jail. You got all these different hip hop artists taking drugs, talking about doing drugs in and out of jail, and for some odd reason they bust off of that.
That's a good point. But the thing is, with these hip hop artists that are doing negativity to blow up, they're in America. Now, the thing is, when you are on a different country, different soils.
Because remember, you can't really compare the dancehall reggae market to the hip hop market. Right. That's bigger. And hip hop market, they have backing from corporations. You know, the dancehall market is minuscule. It's very, very smaller compared to the hip hop market. So for example, now with the bad press, you're not able to travel.
Right.
You can't do shows. Right. You can't get your bookings. You're grounded. It hurts your brand.
Sponsors are scared to invest in you. If you're broke,
if you're doing negative shit,
you don't have money. You're Jamaica. You're coming out of poverty. You don't have a sponsor to invest in you. How are you going to be able to make it over these strides to even?
How are you going to infiltrate the hip hop the urban international market?
There are other countries.
International, but it's very hard.
It is hard.
If you can't leave Jamaica, if you cannot leave Jamaica, if you can't travel,
if you can't leave out of Jamaica, you can't travel to no other country.
Right. If you have bad press circling your name, you ain't gonna be able to travel anywhere. I mean, the
bookings.
The government is gonna hold. They're gonna put a hinder on you traveling.
So the Jamaican government is gonna put a hinder on you.
The Jamaican government sponsor, and then the thing is, you need someone to be able to talk to the government sponsors to be able to validate you and say, yes, this person is such and such. If you have negativity circling your name, no corporation is gonna back you and say he's good. You know, so that definitely it's different if you're in America than being in Jamaica. It doesn't work the same. Here, if you're already here, you're negative. It doesn't hinder you because you're in America. You can travel state to state without anyone stopping you. Look at all these artists who have probation. They have cases, and they're still able to do shows all over the state to state. Absolutely. And make lots of money.
So basically, I feel like from what I'm hearing is that if you don't make it in America, then you're really not nothing. That's what I'm getting from the conversation right now.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Well, the thing is now in Jamaica is you can be huge, right? And the thing is you could do these shows. You're not gonna make a substantial amount of money just touring in Jamaica. Remember,
you
can't tour in Jamaica.
You don't make no money. You don't make no money in Jamaica
and touring. And even you can't travel even to your neighbor islands, Trinidad and Panama.
Yes, you can. And the Panama will use U.S. dollars.
And that's what we're saying is if you're negative, the government is not going to let you travel.
If there's negativity behind you,
they're not going to let you travel. So you're going to only tour in Jamaica. So that little limited money that Jamaica has is not real money to on the level of a
hip hop artist.
A hip hop artist. So that's pretty much what we're saying.
I mean, bad press, the bad negativity that has kind of like clouded the culture. It definitely had a lot to do with the downturn in the culture, and as a result of that, along with a whole lot of other issues with the sound change and all kind of stuff, you don't really hear much music. The music is not crossing over. The sound change, the bad press, artists can't travel, all that stuff, and as a result, the music is not really crossing over into the mainstream market. Bad management, all those things. So one can argue that if these hip hop artists are not really hearing our dancehall reggae artists on mainstream radio, how are they really supposed to connect with them with brand Jamaica?
True.
They'll connect with the older artists.
Right.
I heard Wiz Khalifa the other day. Wiz Khalifa, they asked him who's his favorite dancehall artist, and he was talking about Beanie Man.
Wow. But you see, these artists demand
this is the 90s. You get what I'm saying?
They demand a respect. If you don't have that respect level, they're not going to respect you. So unless these artists start demanding a certain level, I know, for example, Movado, when you book Movado for a show, his requests are ridiculous. And I know firsthand. So what I'm saying is like, you got to set a certain tone and certain standard for yourself. So if these artists is not setting a certain tone or standard for themselves.
That's a great point.
That's definitely a part of it.
That's a great point. So maybe these modern dancehall reggae artists are not impressing the hip hop fraternity,
right?
And and their worldview on new dancehall artists is not the same compared to how they view the older artists,
right?
And they see them just as blah,
right?
But when a Beanie Man, even though you're 25 years old or you're 24 years old, but you still have more reverence for somebody who was.
It's very hypocritical though, because the new generation artists are looked at the same way.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that why is it that a young hip hop artist is still talking about 90s dancehall artists?
Because that was the era.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, that era
so why are they not talking about Tommy Lee? Why are they not talking about Alkaline?
All right. Now, the point I'm saying is,
why are they not talking about...
You have these new generation artists that don't even look at their own old school artists and hold them to a high standard.
That's a great point.
How the hell? You get what I'm saying? So
that's a great point. Somebody
so
said,
you would think that
who was it that said Biggie was whack?
You would think they would. You would think they would be able to relate to the new dancehall artists.
So it's a generation gap.
It's a generation gap.
So they really don't care about what came before them.
No, they living for the moment.
They're just living for the moment,
exactly.
and they're
that's what
they're
it boils,
on the
that's exactly what it boils down to.
The syrup and the drugs and the.
They don't care about nothing but themselves and their own culture. It's not the same as when back in the time when these old school hip hop artists were more worldly. They think about overseas. They think about they're more versatility in a sense. So, that's what it is. And these new generation artists, they're more egoistical and they're into themselves, and
they don't really care about what came before them.
Right.
They just focus on
Instagram.
I mean, people
on Instagram looking good.
People, let us know what's going on, because this sounds like it's really a generation gap issues. Generations turned over and it turned over and it turned over, and as a result, it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect between the 20-year-olds and the culture that influence their entire existence, which is Jamaican dancehall music, reggae music. Because we're not really seeing a relationship. Okay, A Boogie did his collaboration with Nonchalant or whatever, but I'm not really seeing
much more than that.
Nah, I'm not seeing their faces on the Jamaican scene, like as if, So it's people, let us know what you think. What do you think about how the relationship between the reggae and dancehall artists change? What do you think about a new generation, not the reggae and dancehall, the hip hop and the dancehall artists? What do you think about the relationship between the hip hop, new generation hip hop artists versus the new generation dancehall artists? Do you see any kind of relationship? Is there a mutual respect? That's where I'm seeing. Or even the industry. Does the hip hop industry at the moment respect reggae dancehall music?
The funny thing, we spoke about that the new generation don't have much respect.
Exactly.
So
in the previous
maybe
episode,
they just don't have much respect for each other.
But what about the industry altogether? Why didn't the dancehall artists at Summer Jam get to perform? Maybe it's logistical issues. But if they really respected our Jamaican dancehall artists, they would have performed.
True. And they wouldn't have breached the
It's
contract.
like they were second nature.
Because it's
not that serious.
I have an inside source, and that told me that pretty much that Cranium was booked to perform for 10 minutes. Cranium was only given 3 minutes to perform, and then Idonia, who got 1 minute was cut shortly, abruptly because time management issues.
And they were last.
Right.
Because they always put the reggae artists
Right, and
last.
they put them last. So they gave them 1, 2, 3 minutes and cut the mics, and then they give them the proper.
I guarantee you, if you go back years ago, the reggae dancehall artists would never last.
Oh, they got their full.
They would never last. I mean, reggae dancehall artists were on all these big time award shows.
Yes,
I mean,
they were.
I mean, it was heavy. I saw some little clip a couple of days ago with Buju Banton, Rap City, BT Rap City. They were performing. They went to Jamaica to film an episode. You know what I'm saying? Buju Banton on Rap City, Elephant Man, legendary. So I mean, the relationship is just different. So the question is, can the relationship be repaired? Can we get back to where we once were? Is it possible?
I think so, but we just need more artists that are either first generation Caribbean, because they're going to respect the culture more versus someone that is just straight up American.
Yeah, but things and times change.
That's changed, right? There's no.
Things and times change.
We won't. With immigration is,
things and times change.
Yeah.
It's always
migration. I should say is not.
Yeah, it's always young. Music is very dynamic. It's very dynamic. It's always young kids who are coming. But I think if the foundation, if the foundation was really set, if the foundation was really set between the dancehall culture and the hip hop culture, I think there would be more reverence.
Right.
And as far as the dancehall culture, certain things I think it's not really cement. It's not really firm, and that's why we're seeing like the hip hop artists. They kind of like have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, they know Jamaican culture is relevant, but they're using little bits and pieces of it to connect with the masses, but they're not really going
fully in. Connecting
full steam
with the culture in it.
They're not really going full steam. And Drake, you need to go to Jamaica.
Aubrey,
you need to go to Jamaica
Champion
for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks and go do music. You know what I mean? Rihanna got a reggae album coming out. I wonder if she's going to collaborate with any of the dancehall reggae artists.
but Rihanna is not Jamaican. She's from
But
Barbados.
she's a hip hop artist.
It's all good. And
She's a hip hop artist.
Hip hop, R&B.
and she pays homage.
She
know what I mean?
does,
She
but
definitely does.
You know what I mean?
But
So,
I hope she pays the proper homage in this reggae album that she's releasing.
she is a big Buju fan too.
I hope she get Buju on this
Definitely.
album. I hope she puts the proper credit for these reggae artists that she
Absolutely.
does plan on featuring, and get some of our popular dancehall reggae, artists to be on this album.
yeah, man. But this episode, I definitely enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. But yo, let's kind of summarize what we spoke about. So pretty much hip hop culture, kind of like we all know it originated from Jamaican culture, right?
Definitely.
DJ Kool Herc.
True.
The relationship between the dancehall and the hip hop fraternity way back when it was great. As time moved, things kind of
Got a little
shifted.
better.
Got better.
And then
And then in the 2000s got even better. I would say the pinnacle.
True.
And then it plummeted.
definitely.
So and now we're at a point where I don't really see the respect. So
see it either.
how can we repair things? How can we get back to where we once were?
We need to get Nicki and Foxy Brown and Baby Chef in the studio.
Yo, we have a Nicki Minaj fun.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what we need to do. Nikki, Foxy, Baby Chef,
Yeah, man.
get in the studio.
Got the Barbie in the building.
Hello.
Yeah, man. But before we close, yo, Farid, you wanna talk about your new
Oh yeah, we
single?
got a new record releasing actually 12 o'clock tonight, so Friday, June 22nd, on all platforms. The song is called Humble Beginnings. It's a song talking about struggles and perseverance. It's a reflective story of my humble beginnings.
great song.
Yeah, man.
Great song, and I'm not saying that because you're my family, and I'm gonna put it on my
Yo,
social media at Reggae Music Forever.
One thing that I do rate about you is you telling me how it is.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Not because you my family, I'm gonna tell you, say, yo, dog, this song, but I'm not gonna do that. What's the point? if I love you, I'm gonna be real with you. And that song is a really good song. I like that song.
Bless up.
You know what I mean? So people look out for it. It's called Humble Beginnings. And V Monroe, talk about your talk about your brand.
You guys can follow me at V Monroe 12, or you can follow my cosmetic line, which is a full service beauty line, at www.thevmonroecollections.com, or on Instagram, the V Monroe Collections. We are a full lifestyle beauty brand, so you can definitely check us out. And
yeah, man.
Keep it lit. Walking trophy.
Yeah, man.
We didn't even talk about her.
Oh,
Celebrity.
Hood Celebrity.
And she got signed to Epic, I think it is.
How we forgot Hood Celebrity?
Oh, shout out to Hood Celebrity.
Big up Hood Celebrity.
Yeah, man. She been grinding for like a couple years.
Yeah, man.
I definitely saw her on the gram. I saw the rise.
How could we forget about her?
Me no know how we forget about Hood Celebrity, but yeah, man. But before we leave, we always leave you with our closing words. Build each other up and don't tear each other down. In the name of reggae and dancehall music. One love, one culture.
Ciao.